Liberty University. Liberty University (LU) is a private evangelical university in Lynchburg, Virginia. It was founded by Jerry Falwell Sr. and Elmer L. Towns in 1971. When measured in terms of student enrollment, it is one of the largest Christian universities in the world and one of the largest private nonprofit universities in the United States. Although the university's physical campus is in Lynchburg, most of its students are online. As of 2020, the university enrolled about 15,000 students in its residential program and 80,000 students in online courses for a total of about 95,000. Liberty University consists of 17 colleges, including a school of osteopathic medicine and a school of law. Liberty's athletic teams compete in Division I of the NCAA and are collectively known as the Liberty Flames. Their college football team is an NCAA Division I FBS independent, while most of their other sports teams compete in the ASUN Conference. Studies at the university have a conservative, evangelical orientation, with 3 required Bible studies classes for undergraduate students. The university's honor code, called the Liberty Way, prohibits premarital sex, cohabitation, and alcohol use. Described as a bastion of the Christian right, the university plays a prominent role in Republican politics. History. The school was founded in 1971 by televangelist Jerry Falwell Sr. and Elmer L. Towns. Falwell, already a pastor of Thomas Road Baptist Church, served as the first president of the school. From 1979 to the late 1980s, Falwell Sr. also headed the Moral Majority, a right-wing Christian organization. After Falwell's death in 2007, his son Jerry Falwell Jr. became the university's second president. In its early years, the university was held afloat financially by major donors. Initially founded as Lynchburg Baptist College, the school changed its name to Liberty Baptist College in 1977 and to Liberty University in 1985. One of the various stated reasons Liberty's original name was changed from Lynchburg Baptist College to Liberty Baptist College was to distance itself from the name Lynchburg, which is often mistakenly associated with lynching, while another earlier reason, as noted by co-founder Elmer Towns, was that Jerry Falwell Sr. wanted to use the name Liberty in order to take it. In 1985, Liberty University's 501(c)(3) tax-exempt status was formally recognized by the IRS in 1987. Since 1999, Liberty has had an informal relationship with the Southern Baptist Conservatives of Virginia by way of having 2 members from that organization on the University Board of Trustees. The university was placed on probation multiple times in the 1990s by the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools due to heavy debt loads. In 1990, the university's debt totaled $110 million. In 1996, it totaled $40 million. In 1994, Reverend Sun Myung Moon's Women's Federation for World Peace funneled $3.05 million to Liberty University. In 2005, Barron's Profiles of American Colleges ranked undergraduate admission to LU as a competitive, its 4th highest of 6 ranks. When high-speed internet connections became more widespread around 2005, at the start of Jerry Falwell Jr.'s presidency in 2007, the university listed $259 million in assets. In 2017, Forbes's list of America's top colleges ranked Liberty University 585 of the 650 ranked overall as a top college, 231 as a research university, 371 as a private college, and 136 in the South. Forbes also gave Liberty a Forbes financial grade of B+. As of 2017, the university's endowment stood at more than $1 billion and gross assets exceeded $2 billion. In the spring of 2020, Liberty allowed some students to return to campus after spring break during the COVID-19 pandemic over the objections of the city's mayor and contrary The university later pushed for the district attorney to charge a ProPublica reporter and New York Times photographer with trespassing while they were investigating why the university remained partially open despite the COVID. A few months later, then-President Falwell posted a racist tweet which prompted some staff to resign and some black students to pursue transfers. Many who resigned or looked into transfers contended that the tweet was only a symptom of a larger problem at the university. In response to both internal and external criticism, Liberty University hired alumni and former NFL player Kelvin Edwards to lead diversity initiatives on campus. The university fired him 3 months later, and Edwards has sued the university alleging a breach of contract. President Jerry Falwell Jr. was placed on indefinite leave on August 7, 2020, after media began reporting allegations, including photographs of personal and professional impropriety. A few weeks later, he resigned. He claimed that he was entitled to $10.05 million in compensation from the university because he resigned without either admitting to wrongdoing or having formal accusations opened against him. At the end of Jerry Falwell Jr.'s presidency in 2020, the university listed over $2.05 billion in assets. Following Falwell's resignation, Times Higher Education reported that Liberty University was facing growing criticism over perceived resistance to diversity following the departures of diversity head Kelvin Edwards, board chair Alan McFarland, and pastor David Nasser. Jonathan Falwell, a son of Jerry Falwell Sr., replaced Nasser. In April 2021, Liberty University sued Falwell Jr. for $40 million in damages for breach of contract and violation of fiduciary duty. In the same month, the Liberty University Board of Trustees replaced acting chairman Alan McFarland, the first African-American board chair, with Tim Lee, a pro-Trump pastor. In July 2021, the university was sued by a group of 12 anonymous women, including 2 employees, over allegations that the university created an environment. The lawsuit alleged that the school's student honor code makes it difficult to report sexual violence because it does not clearly shield students, that the university had a tacit policy that condoned sexual violence, epically by male student athletes, by weighing a denial more heavily than an allegation, and that the school engages in public and repeated retaliation against women who have reported sexual violence. In one of the alleged incidents included a 15-year-old who was allegedly attacked by Jess Matthew, a man who was later convicted in the murder of Hannah Graham, was told she would be criminally charged with filing a false report before they began an investigation into her claim. She later was not taken to the hospital, but the police later pestered her until she agreed to be photographed naked by a female debate coach. In a written statement in response to the lawsuit, Liberty University stated the allegations are deeply troubling if they turn out to be true, and said that it would look into each allegation detailed in the lawsuit. In the fall semester of 2021, the Lynchburg campus did not require COVID vaccinations, masks, or social distancing, and experienced a COVID outbreak where more than 400 students and 50 staff members tested positive for the virus. This forced the school to go exclusively online for 2 weeks. However, outdoor events, including a convocation and football game, were scheduled to continue. Campus. The 17-story Freedom Tower was completed in February 2018, and the tower holds a 25-bell carillon, which includes a replica of the Liberty Bell. Liberty University's Center for Music and Worship hosts the Miss Virginia Beauty Competition, which sends the winner of the state to represent it in the Miss America pageant. Construction was completed in August 2009 on the Liberty Mountain Snowflex Center, a synthetic ski slope featuring snowflakes. The center was designed by England's Britain Engineering, the first of its kind in the United States. It includes beginner, intermediate, and advanced slopes. The Observatory Center opened in spring 2013 next to the Equestrian Center. The dome has a classroom that can fit up to 20 people. It houses a 20-inch 510 mm RC Optical Systems Truss Ritchie Crescent high-quality research telescope and several Celestron CPC 808-inch Schmidt-Cassegrain telescopes on pedestals able to roll out under a roof. The observatory serves three purposes: instruction, public nights, and research. Student activities controls the use of the observatory and is open to all students. In 2018, libraries and museums. Jerry Falwell Library. The four-story, 170,000 square foot Jerry Falwell Library opened in January 2014. They are accessible via a robot-assisted storage and retrieval system, which locates requested items within a large storage room and delivers them to the front desk. There are 150 public computers throughout the building for electronic archive research. The library has group study rooms, writable walls, balconies, terraces, and a vegetative roof. At its entrance stands a 24-foot media wall, powered by three Microsoft Kinect units and integrated using a custom program that allows visitors to scroll through university news, browse pictures contributed from students, and learn about upcoming university events. The $50 million library is part of a larger $500 million building and expansion plan announced by Liberty University. National Civil War Chaplains Museum. The National Civil War Chaplains Museum contains exhibits about clergy members and religious activity during the Civil War era. It is the only museum in the nation devoted to this purpose. The mission of the museum is to educate the public about the role of chaplains, priests, and rabbis and religious organizations in the Civil War, to promote the continuing study of the many methods of dissemination of religious doctrine and moral teachings during the war, to preserve religious artifacts, and to present interpretive programs that show the influence of religion on the lives of police. A 501(c)(3) organization, the museum rents space from Liberty University's DeMoss Center. It has 10,000 square feet, with a 50-seat video theater, archive displays, a research library, and bookstore. The museum commemorates Catholic, Protestant, and Jewish chaplains, including African American chaplains, and houses publications and artifacts from both the Union and Confederate militaries. There are several areas in the museum that are given special attention, including the role of the United States Christian Commission, which is the forerunner to today's USO and Red Cross, the relationship of religion to political and military leaders, common soldiers, and the public in the North and South. Carter Glass Mansion. The Carter Glass Mansion, also called Montview, is a house built in 1923 for Carter Glass, a newspaper publisher, U.S. Senator who worked to disenfranchise African Americans, U.S. Treasury Secretary under President Woodrow Wilson, and Chairman of the Senate Appropriations Committee and President pro tempore of the Senate during the presidency of the 1+1/2-story house, which is flanked by slightly smaller Ls, has 18-inch 46 cm walls of quartz fieldstone quarried from the property and a gray gambrel roof. It is listed on the National Register of Historic Places and Virginia Landmarks Register. The 1.7-acre 0.69 ha estate was purchased by Liberty University in the late 1970s to be the headquarters of the university administration. It housed the main office of university founder Jerry Falwell, who died at his desk on May 15, 2007. Falwell and his wife were buried on the rear lawn of the mansion, and a memorial to Falwell was placed there, overlooking the rest of the campus. The estate is now largely a tourist site, with Falwell's office preserved in its 2007 condition, and the upstairs section of the mansion converted to a bed and breakfast for Liberty University guests. Liberty Natatorium. Liberty Natatorium is 75,000 square feet and contains a 9-lane Olympic-sized swimming pool as well as a diving well 17 feet deep and fitted with 1 meter and 3 meter springboards and 10 meter, 7.5 meter, 5 meter, 3 meter, and 1 meter diving platforms. The inaugural competitive swimming event held in the swimming pool was the 2018 Tire Junior National Cup in March 2018. In 2020, one of the diving platforms collapsed for an unknown reason. Since its opening, there have also been facility issues in regards to the timing system used in competitive swimming events. Governance and leadership. The university is governed by a 30-member board of trustees that includes Jonathan Falwell, the son and brother respectively of the two former university presidents. Additionally, two ministers serve as trustee emeriti. Unlike most other research universities, faculty outside the law school are not offered tenure, giving them less influence in governing the university than is common. Jerry Falwell is the university's president. He formerly served as the chair of the Board of Trustees and was appointed president after the university's founder, Jerry Falwell Sr., resigned in 2020. Academics. As of August 2017, Liberty University offered over 550 total programs, 366 on campus and 289 online. There are 144 graduate programs and 4 doctoral programs offered on campus. It is classified as a doctoral research university with moderate research activity by the Carnegie classification and is recognized by the National Security Agency NSA and the Department of Homeland Security as a College of Arts and Sciences. The Liberty University College of Arts and Sciences includes 8 different departments and offers PhD, master's, bachelor's, and associate degrees. The college teaches young earth creationism, a pseudoscience in its creationist studies classes. College of Osteopathic Medicine. The Liberty University College of Osteopathic Medicine, LUCOM, opened in August 2014, funded in part by a $12 million matching grant from the Virginia Tobacco Commission. In July 2015, the College of Osteopathic Medicine opened Liberty Mountain Medical Group LLC, a primary care clinic serving the greater Lynchburg area. The college received initial accreditation from the American Osteopathic Association Commission on Osteopathic College Accreditation, AOA-COCA, in 2018. In that same year, the medical school launched its first residency program, focused on neuromusculoskeletal treatment. Helms School of Government. Liberty's Helms School of Government offers degrees in criminal justice, government and public administration, international relations, pre-law, public policy, strategic intelligence, fire administration. The Helms School of Government is named after Senator Jesse Helms, a staunch supporter of white supremacy. Rawlings School of Divinity. The Liberty University Rawlings School of Divinity, formerly Liberty Divinity School, was founded in 1973. The Rawlings School of Divinity currently offers 44 bachelor's degrees, 44 master's degrees, and 14 doctorate degrees. Many programs are on campus only, while others are available online. It is housed in the Freedom Tower. School of Aeronautics. Liberty offers 11 bachelor's degrees in aeronautics from professional pilot to QAS. Liberty's School of Aeronautics currently has over 1,200 students worldwide. Liberty has partnered with various airlines, American Eagle, Piedmont Airlines, and Wayman Aviation to alleviate pilot shortages. Liberty University's School of Aeronautics flight team captured the prestigious Loaning Trophy awarded to the outstanding all-around collegiate aviation program in the nation at the 2017 and 2018 National. In addition, the team captured the American Airlines Safety Award for the 3rd year in a row. School of Behavioral Sciences. The School of Behavioral Sciences includes the following 4 departments: Community Care and Counseling, Counselor Education, and Family Studies, Psychology, and Social Work. The School of Behavioral Sciences has an acceptance rate of 38%. The Community Care and Counseling Department offers 28 master's degrees and 4 doctoral degrees. The Counselor Education and Family Studies department offers 5 master's degrees and 1 doctoral degree. The Psychology department offers 2 associate degrees, 14 bachelor's degrees, 6 master's degrees, and 6 doctoral degrees. The Social Work department offers 1 bachelor's degree. The Dean of the School of Behavioral Sciences is Kenyon C. Knapp. School of Business. Liberty University's School of Business offers 46 bachelor's, 67 master's, and 14 doctoral degrees. Liberty's School of Business is ACSP accredited. As of the summer of 2019, the School of Business is nearing completion on a new 78,000 SQ. Fort Business Building. School of Communication and the Arts. The School of Communication and the Arts includes 5 departments: cinematic arts, digital media and journalism, strategic and personal communication, studio and digital arts, and theater arts. There are over 12,000 residential and online students enrolled in this school. Zaki Gordon Cinematic Arts Center. Liberty University offers a Bachelor of Science in Cinematic Arts degree, which is based in the new Zaki Gordon Cinematic Arts Center ZGCAC. In spring 2018, the ZGCAC collaborated with an outside studio to produce a feature film about President Donald Trump named The Trump Prophecy 2018. School of Education. The School of Education currently enrolls 4,441 students. School of Engineering. Liberty's School of Engineering offers degrees in computer engineering, civil engineering, electrical engineering, industrial and systems engineering, and mechanical engineering. The School of Engineering is accredited through the Accreditation Board for Engineering and Technology (ABET). In 2017, Liberty bought the Center for Advanced Engineering and Research Care facility in Bedford, Virginia. School of Law. Liberty University School of Law has an employment rate of 82% for the class of 2018 obtained full-time, bar passage or JD required employment 9 months after graduation, according to ABA required disclosures. The law school has been accredited by the American Bar Association since 2010. Liberty's School of Law had a 100% pass rate on the February 2019 administration of the Virginia bar exam. This pass rate was tied with the University of Virginia School of Law for the highest in the state. Center for Law and Government. In 2017, Liberty announced its new Center for Law and Government will be led by former U.S. Representative Robert Hurt. The center will house both the Liberty University School of Law and the Jess Helms School of Government. School of Music. The departments of Worship and Music Studies and of Music and Humanities were merged in 2012 into a School of Music, itself composed of 2 distinct centers. The School of Music offers 32 bachelor's degrees, 15 master's degrees, and 1 doctoral degree. College of Applied Studies and Academic Success. Liberty University's College of Applied Studies and Academic Success courses houses the Academic Success Center, the Eagle Scholars Program, Technical Studies, Continuing Education, and Success courses. Technical Studies and Trades. Along with over 15 other associate programs, Liberty offers vocational education with various associate degrees in carpentry, electrical, heating, ventilation, air conditioning, HVAC, plumbing, and welding. These trades are approved by the National Center for Construction Education and Research. Student outcomes. According to the College Scorecard, Liberty University has a graduation rate of 36%. Median salary after attending ranges from $15,695 A in teacher education to $72,022 electrical engineering. Of those repaying student loans 2 years after entering repayment, 26% were in forbearance, 25% were not making progress, 14% were making progress, 14% were in deferment, 9% defaulted, 5% were paid in full, 5% were delinquent, and 2% had their loans discharged. Rankings. Liberty University is ranked #289-389 in the U.S. News and World Report ranking of national universities. It was also tied for 340th place out of 388 schools for social mobility. LU is ranked 391 out of 391 schools in the Washington Monthly. Liberty is among the 10 colleges that enrolled the most undergraduates in fall 2018 according to U.S. News. When including online students, Liberty enrolled more students than any university in the United States as of 2018. Liberty has an endowment of $1.71 billion, the 68th largest in the U.S. Liberty is consistently ranked as the most conservative college in America by Niche and various other publications. Niche also ranks Liberty as the #5 best online college in America. Its college campus is ranked as one of the 10 largest college campuses in the U.S. with over 7,000 acres. Liberty has also been ranked one of the 10 most conservative colleges in the U.S. by Young America's Foundation. Accreditation. Liberty was founded in 1971 and received regional accreditation through the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools SACS accreditation in 1980, which was reaffirmed in 2016. In addition, it was accredited by the Transnational Association of Christian Colleges and Schools TRACS in September 1984, but resigned its TRACS accreditation on November 6, 2008. Liberty has more than 60 accredited degree-granting programs. The law school, which opened in August 2004, gained provisional accreditation from the American Bar Association ABA in 2006 and was granted full accreditation in 2010. The medical school, which opened in 2014, is accredited by the American Osteopathic Association Commission on Osteopathic College Accreditation AOA-COCA. On December 9, 2009, Chancellor Jerry Falwell Jr. announced that Liberty University has received Level VI accreditation from the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools SACS. This is the highest classification from SACS and is reserved for colleges and universities that offer 4 or more doctoral degrees. Liberty is also accredited by, Accreditation Board for Engineering and Technology (ABET), National Council for Accreditation of Teacher Education (NCAT), Commission on Collegiate Nursing Education (CCNE), Aviation Accreditation Board International (ABI), National Association of Schools of Music (NASM), Commission on Accreditation of Athletic Training Education (COT), Accreditation of Allied Health Education Programs (CAHEP), Council for Accreditation of Counseling and Related Educational Programs (CACREP), Accreditation Council for Business Schools and Programs (ACSP), and the Commission on Sport Management Education (COSMA). Student life. Student life includes mandatory Christian community service of 20 hours a semester (CSER), gender-segregated dorms, a dress code for classes. Safety. In 2017, the school invited Ray Rice, who had been videotaped beating his fiancée 3 years earlier, to give a lecture on domestic violence. Members of the school said they had to forgive him. In 2021, a dozen anonymous women sued the school, charging that it failed to curb domestic violence and sexual assault on campus. Employees and students have been arrested for possession of child porn. Demographics. The acceptance rate for new first-time, full-time students entering Liberty's resident program in fall of 2017 was 30%. The overall acceptance rate, which includes online students, is 51%. On-campus demographics. The racial and ethnic demographics of the Lynchburg campus are 74% white. The residential male-to-female ratio is 45% to 54%. Online demographics. Including online students, Liberty's undergrad population was 51% white, 26.5% race/ethnicity unknown, 15.4% Black, or African American, 2.3%, two or more races, 1.7% Hispanic/Latino, 1.4%. All 50 states and Washington, D.C. are represented along with 86 countries. The online male-to-female ratio is 40% to 60%. There are over 30,000 military students and over 850 international students that attend Liberty. Liberty ranks 174th out of 2475 schools in overall diversity, 94th out of 3,012 schools in age diversity, and 82nd out of 2525 schools in location diversity. As of 2010, when including online students, LU was the largest evangelical Christian university in the world. As of 2013, LU was the largest private nonprofit university in the United States. In terms of combined traditional and distance learning students, Liberty University is the seventh largest four-year university and the largest university in Virginia. LGBT stance and right to discriminate. Under Liberty's Honor Code, sexual relations are only permitted in a biblically ordained marriage between a natural-born man and a natural-born woman. Students at the university have criticized the university for being unwelcoming to LGBT students. Campus Pride, an organization that advocates for LGBT rights on college campuses, listed Liberty University as one of the worst universities for LGBT students. Falwell Jr. said the university does not have an anti-gay bias, and some gay students have defended the university. However, the school has forced students to attend gay conversion therapy. In 2015, Liberty University denied the discounted tuition to same-sex and trans spouses of military personnel that it offered to heterosexual military couples. In 2016, the university ordered a version of a psychology textbook that omitted sections with LGBT content. The school says it does not engage in unlawful discrimination or harassment because of race, color, ancestry, religion, age, sex, national origin, pregnancy, or childbirth, but it reserves its right to discriminate on the basis of religion to the extent that applicable law respects its right to act in furtherance of its religious objectives. Honor Code. The Liberty University Honor Code forbids students to be alone with a member of the opposite sex at an off-campus residence or to have premarital sex anywhere. Students may not consume alcohol or tobacco. In 2015, Liberty revised the code to give students the freedom to watch rated R movies and to play video games rated M. In 2017, the curfew policy was changed to permit students age 20 and over to sign out and stay out past curfew. In 2018, the administration rejected a resolution from the student government that would have allowed off-campus drinking, profane language, and the use of tobacco. Convocation. Liberty's Convocation is the largest weekly gathering of Christian students in America. Speakers include a wide variety of influential people. Residential students at Liberty are required to attend Convocation at the Vines Center twice per week, though they may skip once per semester if they receive permission from student leaders. Gun use. Liberty University students are allowed to possess guns in the on-campus dorms. Clubs and organizations. According to Liberty's website, there are over 100 registered clubs on campus. Speech and debate. Liberty's intercollegiate policy debate program ranked first overall for their division in the championships at the National Debate Tournament in 2006, 2007, 2009, 2010, and 2011. The overall rankings include varsity, junior varsity, and novice results. In varsity rankings, Liberty finished 20th in 2005, 17th in 2006, 24th in 2007, 12th in 2008, 9th in 2009, 4th in 2010, and 4th in 2011. Through 2016, Liberty hosted the Virginia High School League's VHSL annual debate state championships every April. Subsequent to controversial remarks made by Chancellor Falwell in December 2015 following the 2015 San Bernardino attack, a number of high school students, teachers, debate coaches, and parents expressed concerns over Liberty's suitability for high school events, and some teams chose to not send students to compete at the annual state championship in 2016. The HSL discontinued using Liberty as a venue for debate competition after 2016 to ensure an environment free from harassment, personal threat, or physical or mental harm. In 2017, Liberty University's debate team finished atop the final rankings of all three national debate tournaments for the eighth time, sweeping the American Debate Association (ADA), the Cross-Examination Debate Association (SEDA), and the National Debate Tournament in DT. Liberty remains the only school in the country to finish first in all three rankings in a single year. The team has placed first in the SEDA for the last 8 years, first in the NDT for 7 out of the last 8 years, and first in the ADA for 13 out of the last 14 years. In 2017, Will Young, the former editor of the college's student newspaper, The Champion, recalled his experiences in a lengthy Washington Post article. In his first week in that role, he had been rebuked for attempting to get the campus's police blotter, he wrote, and the administration regularly overrode the student editor's decisions. There was, he claimed, an infrastructure of thought control that Falwell and his lieutenants had introduced into every aspect of Liberty University life since 2016. Some sources Young spoke to believe the university installed spyware on the laptops they were issued. Student journalists became so frustrated. Athletics. Liberty's athletic teams compete in Division I of the NCAA and are collectively known as the Liberty Flames. Liberty is a member of the ASUN Conference for 17 of its 20 varsity sports. Women's swimming competes in the Coastal Collegiate Sports Association, and women's field hockey competes in the Big East Conference. The field hockey team had belonged to the Northern Pacific Field Hockey Conference before that league's demise after the 2014 season. It competed as an independent in the 2015 season, then joined the Big East Conference for the 2016 season. Starting in 2018, the football team began competing in the FBS as an independent. In 2020, Liberty entered the rankings in the AP poll at 25 for the first time in program history. They finished the season being ranked 17 in the AP poll and 18 in the coaches' poll of top football teams in the country. The university regularly competes for the Sasser Cup, the Big South's trophy for the university that has the best sports program among the member institutions. Liberty has won the Sasser Cup 10 times, the most in the Big South. In 2012, Liberty became the first Big South school to win 5 consecutive Sasser Cups. Liberty has a gun range on campus. Football. The team used Lynchburg's City Stadium as their home stadium until October 21, 1989, when the Flames played their first home game at Williams Stadium in front of 12,750 fans. Upgrades to the stadium increased capacity from 12,000 to 19,200 attendees and added luxury suites, a club level, and a media area. Another expansion increased seating to 25,000. When a part of the FCS, Liberty ranked in the top 10 in the country in home attendance. In 2019, the Flames won the Cure Bowl against Georgia Southern, 23-16. The Flames are coached by Hugh Freeze. Basketball. Liberty University's Basketball Vines Center can house up to 9,547 spectators for its games. Several members of the Liberty men's basketball Liberty Flames basketball team have been recruited to the NBA. The women's basketball team Liberty Lady Flames basketball was honored by the Big South with the top 25 best of the best moments in league history from 1983-2008, with Liberty University's 10-year women's basketball championship run from 1996-2007 being crowned the #1 moment in the Big South's first. Liberty earned its highest ranking ever when it was selected as the No. 12 seed in the East region. Liberty set a school record with their 29th win as they upset Mississippi State 80-76 in the first round of the East region in the 2019 NCAA tournament. It was their first NCAA tournament win in school history. Baseball. The Liberty Baseball Stadium, completed in June 2013 and home to Liberty Baseball, was ranked No. 4 among college ballpark experiences by Stadium Journey website in 2015. The stadium includes 2,500 chairbacks, locker room, 4 indoor batting tunnels, 4 luxury suites, offices for the baseball program, a weight room, team room, and a fully functional press area. Several Liberty Flames baseball players were drafted during the 2015 Major League Baseball draft. Local stations air some games. Some games have aired nationally on ASUN. Ice hockey. Liberty University has men's and women's club ice hockey teams. Men's hockey started in 1985 when students at Liberty organized a team to compete against surrounding colleges and clubs, but has since become a competitive club team competing against much larger schools such as University of Delaware and Penn State University. In 2006, Liberty University opened the 3,000-seat LaHaye Ice Center, a gift from Dr. Timothy and Beverly LaHaye. Also in 2006, Liberty became the only school in the state of Virginia to host a men's Division I American Collegiate Hockey Association ACHA club hockey team. Currently, Liberty University has Division I Roman II and Roman III men's teams and Division I and Roman II women's teams. The men's Division I team is coached by Kirk Handy, while the women's Division I team is coached by Chris Lowe's. Cross country. The men's and women's cross-country teams have long been a conference powerhouse, and Josh McDougall 2007 and Samuel Chalanga 2009-2010 won the NCAA Divi individual laurels. Chalanga took 2 additional gold medals and 3 silvers in outdoor and indoor competition in 3 years, still holds the collegiate 10,000-meter record set in 2010, and won All-American honors 14 times. Liberty University Online. Online students constitute the overwhelming majority of the university's students and revenue, subsidizing the university and making them a killing, according to faculty members, despite the steep drop-off in quality from the traditional college to the online courses. Critics have argued that the online division subsidizes campus resources, such as the ski resort and gun range, and that online enrollment is run in a boiler room fashion. Online instructors are mainly engaged in answering emails and grading rather than creating and delivering content. Liberty University has an internet education component called Liberty University Online, also known as LU Online or LUO, which provides degrees from associate's level to doctorate. Finances, marketing, and recruitment. In May 2012, Liberty University Chancellor and President Jerry Falwell Jr. announced that the school's net assets are worth $1 billion, in part from the success of its online learning program and from accelerated facility expansion. The valuation is a tenfold increase since 2006. In December 2010, Liberty sold $120 million in facilities bonds, with the proceeds to be used to finance future expansion. An additional $100 million in taxable bonds were sold in January 2012, with the proceeds used to help finance $225.02 million of planned capital projects around the campus over the next 5 years. The bond offering is part of Liberty University's campus transformation plan, which will include several renovations and additions to academic buildings and student housing, as well as fund the new Jerry Falwell Library and formation of a medical school. The bonds received a rating of AA from Standard & Poor's and in 2013 received an upgraded rating of A3 along with a stable outlook projection from Moody's Investors Services based on the increasing scope of the university's activity. In March 2017, Falwell Jr. stated that the university's endowment stood at more than $1 billion and gross assets are in excess of $2 billion. The U.S. Department of Education rated Liberty as having a perfect financial responsibility score. According to a 2018 report by the New York Times, most of Liberty University's revenue comes from taxpayer-funded sources, and its salespeople focus on recruiting service members because of their access to federal tuition assistance. In 2019, Falwell Jr. was accused of using the university for his family's financial benefit. Staff members have described that the university has funneled tuition money into real estate investments that benefit friends and family of the Falwells, including a shopping mall owned by the university and managed by Falwell's son Trey, who serves as a vice president at the university. Falwell responded to the accusations by asserting that the FBI would investigate a criminal conspiracy in which individuals stole university property and shared it with reporters in an effort to damage his reputation. Marketing and recruitment practices. In 2018, ProPublica/New York Times reported that Liberty University students were sixth in terms of receiving federal aid for the year 2017. Most of Liberty University's revenue came from taxpayer-funded sources. ProPublica/New York Times reported that each of the university's 300 salespeople were pressured to enroll up to 8 students per day. A division of 60 salespeople targeted members of the military specifically because they had greater access to federal tuition assistance. The university's salespeople were instructed to make the university appear more affordable by describing the tuition costs per credits rather than per course. The salespeople were also instructed to not inform potential students of the Christian orientation of the education. The first classes include 3 required Bible studies classes. The credits for the Bible studies classes are usually not transferable to other universities, which disincentivizes students from leaving Liberty University for other universities. According to a former employee, the university accepts any student with a grade point average above 0.5 equivalent to a D-. Sponsorships. Liberty University has sponsored NASCAR driver William Byron, also a LU student, since 2014 in a late model program run by Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s JR Motorsports. Liberty is in the midst of a 2-year deal with Byron and NASCAR Cup Series Team Hendrick Motorsports. Federal funding. In 2010, students received about $445 million in federal financial aid money in 2010, the highest total of any school in Virginia and one of the highest in the country. The total of 56% increase over the prior year was mostly in the form of student loans, but also included some grants and other forms of aid. Campus officials estimated the total received in 2013 at $775 million. In 2011, Liberty University blocked campus access to a local Lynchburg newspaper, the News and Advocate, after the newspaper reported on the school's dependence on federal financial aid. Falwell Jr. said that the decision to block the newspaper was unrelated to content published in the paper. Student loans and defaults. Liberty University students have a lower default rate compared to the national average of graduates from all schools. However, Liberty University students have a higher rate of defaults within 3 years of completing their studies compared to graduates of other private, nonprofit, 4-year colleges. Liberty University spends far less on instruction than traditional private universities, for-profit colleges, and other nonprofit, religious colleges. The New York Times reported that faculty at Liberty University acknowledge that Liberty University Online is a steep drop-off in quality relative to the traditional classes at the university. The online division at the Liberty University is a significant revenue source for the university. In connection with being named to a Trump administration task force on deregulating higher education, University President Falwell alluded, as an example of regulatory overreach and micromanagement, to Obama-era regulations that govern student loan forgiveness for students who have been cheated by fraudulent colleges. Beliefs and values. Liberty University is a conservative evangelical college which is reflected in its honor code and other policies. The university teaches creationism alongside the science of evolutionary biology. The university's former president, Jerry Falwell Sr., was accused of nepotism, racism, and alcohol use, contravening Baptist teaching on teetotalism. Falwell and his wife Rebecca were involved in a number of sex scandals. These eventually led to his resignation on August 24, 2020. Standing for Freedom Center. In November 2019, Liberty and Charlie Kirk of Turning Point USA launched a think tank subsidiary called the Falkirk Center for Faith and Liberty. The think tank hired Trump attorney Jenna Ellis and Trump surrogate Sebastian Gorka as fellows and paid for political Facebook ads promoting Trump and other Republican candidates during the 2020 election campaign. In March 2021, the university renamed the organization the Standing for Freedom Center, having chosen not to renew Kirk's contract several months earlier. Politics, politics, politics. Influence. Liberty University has been described as a stage of choice in Republican presidential politics and a pilgrimage site for GOP candidates. According to the Washington Post, Republican candidates are drawn to the university because it is viewed as a bastion of the Christian right. Ronald Reagan's close relationship with the university gave it significant publicity in its early years. In 1990, 41st U.S. President George H.W. Bush was the first sitting U.S. president to speak at Liberty's commencement. In 1996, U.S. Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas gave the commencement address at Liberty University. Republican leaders Ronald Reagan, George W. Bush, Mitt Romney, Newt Gingrich, Jeb Bush, Bobby Jindal, and John McCain have visited the campus. Libertarian presidential candidate Gary Johnson spoke at the university. In 2017, President Donald Trump gave his first college commencement speech as sitting president at Liberty University. In 2019, Vice President Mike Pence gave the commencement speech to graduates. Liberty was a satellite location for CPAC 2019, hosting numerous conservative speakers on campus. In 2009, LU stopped recognizing LU Democratic Party student group. School officials said this was because the Democratic Party platform goes against the school's conservative Christian principles. Democrats such as Ted Kennedy, Bernie Sanders, and Jesse Jackson have spoken there. In 2018, former 39th U.S. President Jimmy Carter gave the commencement speech. However, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and Hillary Clinton have rejected invitations to speak at LU. 2015 Concealed Handguns Remarks. In a December 5, 2015, convocation speech, President Jerry Falwell Sr. encouraged the student body to obtain concealed handgun permits. Falwell discussed the 2015 San Bernardino attack and said, "If more good people had concealed carry permits, then we could end those Muslims before they walked in." This was met with public condemnation for singling out the Muslim religion rather than the act of terrorism. Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe called the statement repugnant. Falwell later stated that he was referring to the Muslim shooters in the San Bernardino attack, not all Muslims. Links to Donald Trump. Notable alumni. Michael Andrew, Olympic swimmer, 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 Olympic swimmer. Allison Ball, Kentucky State Treasurer. Susan Wise Barr, author and English instructor at the College of William and Mary. Peter Allen Bell, osteopathic medicine doctor and current dean at Liberty University and the College of Osteopathic Medicine. Shannon Bream, host of Fox News at Night, Supreme Court reporter, Fox News. Sid Bream, former MLB baseball player. William Byron, racing driver competing in the NASCAR Cup Series. Jerry Falwell, founder. Jerry Falwell Jr., former president of Liberty University. William Franklin Graham Roman IV, evangelist, grandson of Billy Graham. Rashid Jennings, former NFL running back. Tim Lambesis, lead vocalist of the metalcore band As I Lay Dying, As I Lay Dying, Lay Dying, Lay Dying, Lay Dying, Lay Dying. Michael Licona, New Testament scholar and apologist, associate professor of theology at Houston Baptist University. Alex McFarland, director of Christian Worldview at North Greenville University. Vic Mignogna, anime voice actor, 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 voice actor. Samantha Ponder, ESPN Sunday NFL Countdown host. Vic Shealy, Inca Dunn, football head coach at Houston Baptist University, former defensive coordinator at the University of Kansas. Toby Mack, Grammy Award-winning Christian hip-hop artist, former member of DC Talk. Jackie Walorski, Republican member of the U.S. House of Representatives. Debbie Yao, athletic director at NC State.